Hey y'all, Bob with Million Mile Garage. We're just kind of going through some stuff I haven't really sifted through since I moved up here 5 years ago. I've still got a lot of unopened boxes and whatnot. And I forgot about these. These are, I think, 172 scale World War II fighter planes I built in the late 70s. I think that's a monogram Corsair. I think that's the P-40 Warhawk. And that says like copyright, monogram models, all rights reserved, made in USA. Huh, that must be old. That looks like a propeller to my P-38. It's like 2 of the 3 decals are still in the prop. I was really into the details. I used to paint the engine details, the propeller details. That's kind of dusty, isn't it? Oh, I even painted the little man in there. That's nice. I think that's my... Is that a B-25 Mitchell? And yeah, it's kind of rough. These used to hang from the ceiling in my room when I was a kid, and then they spent many, many years in the attic, and they got lugged around to probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 different attics, houses, whatever. I'm sure I can find the nacelle with the propeller on there. Ooh, it still turns. That's nice. I wonder if it'll still start. Nope, guess not. I think that was 172 as well, to kind of give you an idea of scale, how much larger that was. And I'm sure I'll find all the bits and pieces. But these hung in Austin's room for a very long time at our house down in Florida. I used to suspend them from the ceiling with monofilament line, so it's hard to see the strings. And I think I'm going to find a spot up here to do that as well. Maybe we'll kind of use the red plane as the focal point. Apologize for the noise in the background. Of course, there's nothing to do outside in North Alabama today because it's, 47 degrees outside or whatever it is, and rainy and crappy like it always is in the winter up here. I thought I'd just kind of go through some of these a little bit. Oh, there's the P-38. Oh, it's all crunched up. That was carefully packaged. Not. There's a Spitfire with droopy wings. I can probably fix him up. He'll come back around. Winnie. Don't remember that. Oh, I even painted the landing gear. I think I did these when I was like 12. I remember the P-38. I spent a lot of time on this one. Oh, his little canopy's broken open, but you can see the little detail, the little man in there. And I think these nacelles came off. Well, actually, one of them's broken off. You see, I actually went through the trouble to detail what I think was a, it's probably an Allison. I know, I think on the Mustangs, I think the Allisons got replaced by, what were they, those Rolls-Royce Merlins. I think Packard built them under license. And I thought I had a little Mustang in here. Oh, look at this monster. Oh, yeah. This was a, I think it was a pair of Messerschmitts that were grafted together. And I think the idea of this was to tow gliders. They were kind of into towing gliders during the war. I'll take my time and unpaper that so it doesn't get smashed. This was really cool. Look at, I don't even remember what this one was called. I spent a lot of time on this one. I hand painted all the details, the stripes, everything. I think there's an ME-109. And I'm pretty sure all the pieces are still in the box, so I'm sure I can find that propeller and put it back on. I did such a nice job on these when I had good eyesight. I'm tempted, if any of these kits are reissued, I might buy some new ones just for the spare parts so I can get these back together. What's balled up in here? Oh, looks like some of my son's toys made in here because these were in his room. Oh, slot cars. Huh. Forgot about those. Looks like a Tyco. Cool. And then we got a slot car track. I think it's in that car cover box. This is On the Road. I think there's some of the slot car track in there. I've always wanted to set those up at Christmas time in here, but just have never been able to get around to it. I'm going to go through and just kind of try to unpaper the rest of this stuff. Kind of hard to do it one-handed, and I'll lay all these out. And I think that'll be one of my winter projects, is to put these little guys back together and get them suspended from the ceiling so they can be properly displayed once again. So not too bad, right? This is like 1979 vintage, I'm guessing. And I was always real careful on the details. I always like the pieces to be able to move. Yep, I remember that. The little turret still rotates around. Kind of cool. And I think there was a lone nacelle in here that had. I think I found that Mitchell propeller. Anyway, I'll find all that stuff. But I got to get this one out. You guys are gonna really like this one. Hold on for the next frame. Okay, there's kind of an aerial shot. So coming in on this one, I'm going to have to Google this. It's been so long since I made this one. I think this was also around 79 I built this. I think it's a pair of Messerschmitts, ME whatever they were. I don't remember what the twin engine was. I remember these were ME 109s. And his propeller seems to be, unfortunately, permanently missing in action. Just looking in here, there's my P38 prop. Okay. So we got both of those. That's good. Oh, got the nacelle. Sure. This big fat tire. I swear it looks like that one's got all its tires. That's what it looks like it would have gone to. Huh. I don't know what that one went to. Not the same wheel. Definitely different wheels. I went through the trouble to actually paint the tires with a paint called rubber. So they have kind of a rubber, have kind of a brown. Actually, it looks like the rubber that was in the paint is actually turned brown as well. How about that? Like real rubber. How about that? That's nice. Seemed like I had a larger scale plane that was like a 148. I think I had a 148 P40 as well. I think this wheel looks too big for anything. Oh, maybe it does fit the Messerschmitt. Oh, I guess it does. Okay, cool. So I actually went to the trouble to put landing gear on these, but you can see one of them, the whole landing gear is missing. I guess that's where that one lone wheel would go, right? Those look like the same wheels. Yep. I don't know what that is that oozed on it. I don't think that's glue. Something schmoozed on it. Yeah, I actually went to the trouble. I actually hand brushed all of that sky blue on the bottom. I guess that's the way it was done. Of course, unfortunately, you have to put it together before you could paint it. Or at least I guess I could have painted it in halves. I didn't really work that out as a kid, right? So I got some paint on the windows. I can hear some loose pieces in there rattling around. And most of the propeller blades are broken off. That's nice. Maybe I should break the rest of them off so it just looks like it's running. I guess that goes to the Mitchell. Sure. I remember them being more of these. I'm not sure if some of them didn't make it. Maybe just in my old age, I forget. Not sure what that is. I know this is missing a wheel. That looks like the little... Yep. That would have gone with that. Yep. But the tire's missing. Okay. Maybe they reissued these. I think that's a monogram as well. Probably says it somewhere on there. Yeah, maybe not. Yep. Maybe I can make a tire for that. Not sure how I would do that. Maybe I could use an O-ring. I don't know. And maybe I won't waste any time on it at all. There's a propeller. Looks like a propeller blade. Not sure what that one goes to. Oh, maybe I'm lucky. Ooh, that goes to the Mustang. Okay, all right. So we'll get that one fixed up. I think it's missing a landing gear too. Dang it. Oh well. I think this might have been a Revell snap tight. I don't remember what that one was. It looks like I got glue on it. Some of these snap tights, they didn't fit very well. I think I had to glue them anyway. But that was done up just like my Tester's 049 Mustang. The real flying one. I've actually got the Tester's version of this one. I still have one. That's up here. I was really into airplanes when I was a youngster. There's my Testors 049 powered P40 Warhawk, and it was in running condition about 14 years ago. When my son was 6, I actually got him to fly that. He actually was able to fly it, which I was totally impressed with because I was not able to fly one of those things until I was around 10. We had a lot of fun with that. I think that ladder goes to the Mitchell. Even though I had this suspended from the ceiling, it looked kind of bizarre. Oh, wait a minute, that's the tire. I thought that was just an O-ring. Okay, so we have that. So we have the tire, we have the hubcap, or the rim, right? And that can go back in there. Okay, and there's his propeller. Unfortunately, this propeller got broke off a couple times. I used to have them so they would turn, but we'll get that glued back on. I guess if there was a trick way I could get this apart, I'd maybe put it on so it spin, but yeah, who cares, right? It's not like it's a Hubley 495 plane, right? All right. I remember those engines as being more detailed than that, but I did do a nice job on the little man. Not bad for being 12 years old. You know, both my grandparents were in World War II, so a lot of them used to tell me stories, particularly about, I remember the P-38 seeing those fly in the sky. Some of them actually witnessed, I guess, some dogfights with them. Of course, the legendary P-51 Mustang. I used to dream about flying these when I was a kid. I just really, really love World War II airplanes. And, you know, I'm 56 years old, so when I was a kid, this stuff was old, but it was still relevant. When you went to local air shows, there was always a couple of Mustangs. I actually had my picture taken in front of a running P-38 at the time, but I think it got crashed. And I think I actually got to walk inside one of those one time. Never saw one of those. Kind of weird. But the idea was is they would tow hang gliders up at a high altitude and then drop them. And I guess the hang glider soldiers would come in, you know, silent and take out their intended targets. That's nice. Do you guys remember the show called Black Sheep, starring Robert Conrad? Really cool series. I remember watching that as a youngster. I love watching those. They had those real airplanes running. And I think the story was on the Japanese Zeros, which I guess that's what's missing. I think I had a Zero. Don't know what happened to it. I don't think they had any Zeros that were actually in running condition when they did that series, so they had some other type of airplane I think was painted up to look like a Japanese Zero. So when they ever showed those flying shots where they were kind of like, you know, newer shots and not actual World War II footage, I don't remember what those were, but those Corsairs were chasing, I think they're probably not real Zeros. So kind of cool. Yeah, I think I've got enough to work here with. I'll kind of get these pieces back together, and they'll definitely look good enough to hang from the ceiling, although it kind of really makes me sick. The prop is missing on this one. Oh well.